you think is worse, a successful failure or an unsuccessful failure? The greatest failures are not those people that have never succeeded, but those people that allowed their success to become their reason for failure. To see the one thing you need to avoid in order not to be a successful failure, watch this video and make sure you avoid this one thing.
It's my East China. I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the mayor of House Business Channel, where I discuss only business and you can do business directly with me, called My Ace TV, and you can check it out right here. This channel is my personal contribution channel where I'll be giving you exceptional values on business, personal finance, personal development, and life success. And I'll be doing that with a lot of fun because my one word is fun. And I always seek, teach, inspire, create, collaborate. You can just call me the contributor. Join the exceptional 5% that will watch this video to the end because you're very special people and you're rare. Welcome on board. Let's learn to grow rich together.
Welcome to my daily insights into my daily quotes with my ace, where I give you a longer, deeper insight into my daily quotes for deeper secrets for your accelerated results. And today's quote says, settling into a big success when your initial goal is a bigger success is worse than failure. Complacency is the one thing that every successful person must avoid, because complacency is the plateau on which your comfort begins and your downward spiral back to where you started begins. It's so pathetic that people succeed and get to a particular level of success, and instead of continuing to where they targeted to succeed, they allow the praise and the sycophancy and the celebration of the world to make them settle for less than they are. And they are surprised when their life starts going downhill and they find themselves worse off at the long run than they were when they started. The worst tragedy is to ever taste success and to fall back to where you are without that taste. The taste of success is so sweet that when you've not tasted it, you don't miss it because you don't know what it is. But when you've tasted it and you've gone back to the bitterness of failure, the sweetness of success will haunt you all the days of your life. And one of the greatest places where they start is when you allow complacency to creep in. These 6 complacencies are the worst complacencies that create the worst regret that most people die with. And regrets don't come from things we did. The regrets come from things we never did. Most people on their deathbed, their greatest regret are not the bad things they did, but the good things they never did. And one of the most regretful good things is when you had the potential for 100 good things and you only achieved 10 and you relax thinking you have arrived, and you even went downhill back to 0 before you died. And someone once said that all our goals, dreams, and potentials are like human beings and living creatures, and when we die they will haunt us and tell us, why didn't you allow me to come into this world? Because you failed to fulfill me. Your potential is for 1 billion and you end at 1 million. When you die, the billion will come after you and say, why didn't you create me in the world? Because you settled for 1 million. And only God knows what that place will be like. But the best bet is when you fulfill your full potential and avoid complacency. When you set your goals, ensure that you don't settle for less than the goals you have set for. And these 6 complacencies, if you can avoid them, you will live a life of fulfillment and no regrets. And the first complacency is education complacency. I have seen so many people in this world that feel they were so educated when they got their PhD and their professorship and they stopped learning. And I've seen how schooled and uneducated they are. The greatest tragedy is to see very schooled illiterate or uneducated people. Education are the things you learn in life and survival. Schooling are the things you learn in school. And Mark Twain once said, don't allow your schooling interfere with your education. So all those that have an age and a stage you stop learning have education complacency. The true education is never stop learning and keep learning until we die. And one of the greatest things you must protect both from your childhood till you die is the childish, powerful virtue of curiosity. People like the late Charlie Munger, even when he was 98 and 99, he was still retaining his curiosity of a child to learn and grow. And no wonder he's one of the greatest investors in the US with Warren Buffett. So maintain your curiosity and never stop learning to avoid education complacency. Second complacency is physical complacency. Most of the old people homes that are riddled with old, sick, immobile people were victims of physical complacency. I love it when I see on the internet a man of 80 that is still exercising, doing his press-ups and doing a lot of activities because he has not allowed physical complacency to set in. We don't stop moving because we get old. We get old because we stop moving. So exercise yourself and move yourself physically and you might never get old. So don't stop moving. Physical complacency. Keep yourself in top physical condition by exercising daily and eating nutritional food, and don't stop for any age or at any age. The third complacency is spiritual complacency, and this has eaten so deep into our world that people are no longer connected to their spirit because they believe there is no spiritual world. Man, as long as the world exists, will always be a spirit walking in a body that has a soul. The core of what you are is a spirit. And if you don't connect to higher spiritual values that will keep you aspiring to become more and more spiritually, you go into a rut that will cause an incongruence that will make for all the depression and the suicide you are seeing in the world today, is because people have been disconnected from their spiritual essence. So your spirituality should not just be that you believe there is a God or a higher being. Your spirituality should be that you study, you practice, and preach what you believe in. And meditation has been seen as one of the strongest daily practice because it keeps you attuned to a higher spiritual vibration. So don't ever have a level where you get to and enter into the rut of spiritual complacency. The fourth complacency you must avoid is the innovation complacency. I see some people say nothing new can be discovered, everything has been discovered. That is innovation complacency. You can always better anything anybody has done. If anybody has gotten electric cars, you can get cars that don't even use electricity. There is no limit to innovation. Don't stop innovating. And as a businessman, one of the best quotes I've seen from one of the best business gurus of the 21st century, Peter Drucker, he said, business has only two functions, innovation and marketing. So if you're in business and you stop innovating and marketing, you start dying. So never enter the rut of innovation complacency and set goals to keep innovating. The fifth complacency that kills your goals is impact complacency. I see this a lot in Africa because Africa is burdened with the black tax system, where if you are successful in your family, every other unsuccessful person will want to tax you and lynch on you and pull you down. One of the greatest complacency I have seen is when you have helped 3 people in your family and you say, I will no longer impact or help anybody. I have tried. And you end it there. But that's not the worst complacency in the world. The worst complacency I've seen in the world is when people are wealthy and they limit their impact to only their children. They want to help their children. They want to give scholarship to only their children. They want their children to wear the best dresses, and they are not imparting others. My Father, in whom I'm well pleased, David Biome says, it is only your children and your siblings that you impart on. You have not imparted anybody. And if your money only goes to your children and your siblings, you are poor. So impact should increase as we go. You might set out with a goal to impact 10 people, and then you find out as you grow, you can increase that to 10 million. Never stop impacting. And the final one that is the core of our society that we are gradually losing the core and needs to be revived as a matter of emergency is the moral complacency. There is no limit for how moral we can be. And morality and civilization are the same. The less moral we are, the less civilized we are. The error of civilization with low morality is an error that is scattering our society that needs to be reset as a matter of urgency. Civilization is the moral behavior of a society. The more moral a society is, the more civilized it is. The more immoral a society is, the more brute and uncivilized they are. So become civilized by becoming moral, and there is no limit to how moral you can be. The greatest morality on earth is divinity. Become so moral that you are as holy and as wonderful and powerful as God, and nobody can ever get there. Aspire to be like God every day, and aspire to be more moral, more holy every day, and never stop. There is no end to morality. And if you can avoid these 6 complacencies, especially in setting your goals, then you not only make your goals very powerful, but you become unstoppable if you can never stop learning and never fall into education complacency, never stop moving and never stop exercising and never fall into physical complacency, never stop growing spiritually and never fall into spiritual complacency, never stop innovating and never fall into innovation complacency, never stop impacting people and never fall into the impact complacency, and never stop growing your morality to never fall into the moral complacency. If you avoid these 6 plateaus of complacency, then you will have big success and fulfill your full potential. And remember, never stop moving and never stop exercising and never fall into physical complacency, never stop growing spiritually and never fall into spiritual complacency, never stop innovating and never fall into innovation complacency, never stop impacting people and never fall into the impact complacency, and never stop growing your morality to never fall into the moral complacency. If you avoid these 6 plateaus of complacency, then you will have big success and fulfill your full potential. And remember, our quote for the day says, settling into a big success when your initial goal is a bigger success is worse than failure. Dare not to be a failure, but more than that, dare not to be worse than a failure. And sometimes your goal can be a wonder, and if you are not in order, you might veer off and wander off your goal. To see how to order your goals in wonder, click on the video above, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Lele, it is super duper amazing that you found my content valuable enough for you to watch till the end. Only 5% of exceptional people do that. You're exceptional, and I deeply love and appreciate you. Hey, Lele, don't just watch to learn. Watch to take action. And the first action is subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our daily value action. Remember, only doers are winners.